What's up, guys? Welcome to the Edge DFS. My name is Tyson Smith, joined by Ellie Hernandez. We're talking Showdown, NFL, Week 8, Monday Night Football. Why are the Giants playing on Monday Night Football? When they were scheduling this, did they think the Giants were going to be good in Week 8? I don't know. What's going on here?
So I think we just need to we just need to generate a slide that says what the fuck is going on with our scheduler, because I think we've said that at least once per show for pretty much this entire season.
Yeah.
I mean, of all games, like even the Giants Cowboys or like an NFC East rivalry game would be more interesting.
Exactly.
But you have them against a pissed off Kansas City team, which, you know, this should be a prime get-right situation for the Chiefs. So
yeah, you would hope so. I mean, look, the Giants
Kansas City, how do we refer to them? Is it okay to say? Never mind.
Well, in a few years, check back in a few years. Look, the Giants don't have any players. We'll get to injuries here in a minute. I know the Chiefs lost bad last week. They were held scoreless until the fourth quarter, and the Giants won. Pretty good game last week. So you'd think, okay, well, maybe this could be a good game. It's not going to be a good game. If it is, I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs, man. I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs. I think this is a perfect opportunity for Patrick Mahomes to tell his brother Jackson to stop dancing, tell his wife to stay off Twitter, and just get right. The season's going to be okay for them. They just need to figure things out. This is the perfect time to start doing it. So I'm not super excited about playing this. I might not do a ton of lineups tonight because there's just so many different variables going on, especially with the Giants. There's going to be a lot of good options value-wise on the Giants, and I think that's where a lot of the value is going to come in. And maybe if we want to do a Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill lineup, we can find value on the other side. But right off the bat, dude, I don't even know. This is going to sound crazy, but I don't know if we need Mahomes. This could be a whole situation where it's 21-0 in the middle of the second quarter, and they just run the ball, and they kind of, I don't know. I just really, there is a situation where Mahomes is expensive, and we might not need him. We really might not need him. I don't know. Thoughts on that? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy, man. I mean, this is a perfect game to do something like that. I honestly think this is a great game to, see, mess around with some of the running backs on the Chiefs side. I mean, like, I don't know if they're going to keep throwing in the fourth quarter if they're up by 15, 20 points. I doubt it's going to be that severe, but I don't even know who plays for the New York Football Giants. They might actually have people from AAA baseball out there. I don't even know at this point. Like, there's legit nobody on their team. Who's playing wide receiver? Like, Kadarius Toney is their best wide receiver right now, and they signed every wide receiver free agent that was available. Yeah, and they had Sterling Shepard, Darius, whatever, and so on and so forth. But there's still nobody playing for the Giants. So I don't know, man. I think this is a good opportunity, like you said, to fade Pat. And just get weird with some of the offensive players that you can get from the Chiefs.
Yeah, I
get
agree.
Real weird.
All right, before we move on, thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate it. Throw us a like real quick. Subscribe to the channel. We're just two dudes who love playing fantasy. We really appreciate the support. It really helps us out. Let's move on to
fantasy sports, just in case.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I should be very clear about that. The Giants going into Kansas City, which makes it even worse. Weather should be fine. I think there's a little bit of rain earlier in the day. Minus 500 on the money line. That should probably be higher, I think. Minus 10.5. Home favorites. 52 total. The ownership is obviously way in favor of Kansas City, and I don't blame them. I think one way you could kind of get different is just do a little 3-3 New York Giants action. And look, you could even do a 4-2 New York Giants, because it could get out of hand in the fourth quarter, and we could see a lot of garbage time. I fully anticipate a lot of garbage time in this game. Yeah. I could be wrong, though, man. Like, anything could happen tonight. This could be a good game. This could be the game of the year. This is why it's really, really difficult for a game like this, especially when the Giants just are clearly outmanned and clearly injured as hell. I really don't know what to do with this game. It kind of scares me a little bit. If you don't have a clear vision on this, my best advice would be to go light, because anything could happen tonight. It really is kind of scary. Let's go to injuries. Let's talk about this. I'm only going to pull up the Giants because look at that injury list. These guys need some new trainers or something. I don't know what's going on, man. Saquon is out, unfortunately. This guy's career, he had the potential to be one of the best running backs we've seen in a long time. It's just not working out for him, unfortunately. He's out. Kennedy Galladay's out. Kadarius Toney's questionable. Evan Ingram was limited, but he'll play. Sterling Shepard is questionable. Caden Smith, backup tight end, questionable. So the biggest news here is obviously Toney and Shepard when it comes to questionable. We're going to have to keep our eyes open. If either of these guys out, it really opens up the value on the bottom end. You've got guys like Colin Johnson, who's 400. Dante Pettis, for some reason, is 5K. I know he's got some action, but I think Colin Johnson can outscore Dante Pettis. And Colin Johnson's $400. You got John Ross back from the dead at 1,200, and that's pretty much it on the wide receiver side. So I think all those guys get a boost, and I think they get a kind of a boost either way because who knows how Sterling Shepard's doing? Who knows how Kadarius Toney's actually doing? The good news is with Toney is he was limited in practice. Bad news, actually, look, Sterling Shepard was limited in practice too. So maybe both these guys play. And if that's the case, I think it makes things a little bit more interesting. So thoughts on Toney and Shepard? Interesting. Are you interested in them? If they play, where do you go here?
Yeah, I mean, again, it really comes down to who ends up playing. I think Sterling Shepard is going to be the number one guy if he's in. But you kind of just work your way back from there. If Kadarius Toney is the only guy playing, then Toney's my guy. If all of them are active, I think you can kind of just pick and choose. But I think Sterling Shepard is the most obvious guy to go with. But to your point, if these guys are all out, I think there's a lot of value that's going to be available. And I think the most obvious that people are going to flock to is John Ross, which is going to make up some interesting, really cheap plays. Because what is he, like 1,200? So if you go down to Colin Johnson or whatever his name is, then you definitely have a little bit of flexibility. But and you're going to need that on the slate because you still want to find ways to get to guys like Kelsey and Hill.
For sure.
They're going to have to put up 30 points at some point. So somebody's going to get all that volume.
For sure. Absolutely. And I think you got to focus in on these Giants wide receivers. You really got to get one of them in your lineup.
Yeah.
There's no chance that not one of these guys doesn't make the optimal because they're going to be playing from behind. There's no way they're not. All right, let's get to the breakdown. We're going to get through this show pretty quick, guys. Break it down. All right. So, let's talk about quarterbacks here. Patty Mahomes, 12K. Daniel Jones, 10.2K. I think there's a chance that Daniel Jones could be the leading rusher on this team. I know it sounds crazy, but if the game script works out the way I think it's going to work out, I think that Patty Mahomes could actually be a slight fade for me, like under the field for some leverage. And Daniel Jones, I think, is actually a better play for me because I just think that they're going to be passing the ball a lot in this game. I don't see them running the ball much. I think Danny Dimes can get you a rushing touchdown potentially. 10.2K for Daniel Jones. Do we have to play both these quarterbacks? And you're avoiding Patty at captain, I'm assuming, correct?
Oh, yeah, I won't have any Pat at captain. Now, if I decide that I'm going to end up fading Pat in the flex spot, then I may actually bump up my captain exposure here for Pat Mahomes. It just makes it easier that way, so I don't feel too bad for fading entirely.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think you're dead on about Daniel Jones. Like, I don't – look, man, I've been saying this for a while, but I don't know where Kansas City built this defense. Like, they're just pulling random dudes and then trading for like all pro defensive ends once in a while.
Yeah.
Like they have Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark, and then everybody else is just some dude. So Daniel Jones could have the opportunity. If he doesn't even throw for 250 yards, he could rush for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that's crazy to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is, right? If you have the opportunity to get some rushing volume, then I think that this is a great play for Daniel Jones. Is that who you have up right now?
Yeah, you got to assume that he's going to throw the ball 35 times, like on the low end. You would think, right?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at this right now for some prop betting. Let me pull up his line on.
Yeah, let's do that. It's probably if I was guessing, it'd probably be like 220 or something like that.
I want to actually look at the attempts.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So let's see. Got an NFL up. While I'm doing that, you want to tell us a little bit about Patty?
Yeah, I mean, look, last week he didn't have a very good week. Obviously, we know what this guy's capable of. When I say I'm not like super into Patty Mahomes this week, it's not because he's not good, and it's not because he can't go out and absolutely break the slate. It's simply because I just don't know if they're going to need him. We've seen it before.
So Daniel Jones is at 252.5 for yards.
Wait, say that again? Say that again?
Daniel Jones is at 252.5.
Okay. Wow.
Patty is at 302.5.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
That's interesting. And then Daniel Jones is at 1.5 for touchdowns. Pat's at 2.5.
What about attempts?
Attempts. Yeah, you got Daniel Jones at 34.5 and Pat's at 37.5. Can you pull him up real quick? That doesn't sound right. I might take the under on this.
35, 47, 54, 30, 44, 31, 36. I mean, it doesn't sound out of the ordinary. Really doesn't. They gotta get the run going, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, this is a get-right opportunity for them. There's no reason that Pat Mahomes should be out there throwing 55 times against the Giants.
Yeah.
If their running backs don't have a combined 20 attempts today, that's a failure on Andy Reid and the entire coaching staff.
Yeah.
And Eric Bieniemy doesn't deserve a head coaching job. I'm kidding, by the way. That doesn't exclude his last 3 years of work or whatever.
For one game, yeah. All right, We're going to go to running backs here. Let's start with KC. Why not? All right.
Let's do it.
So, Darrell Williams, 9K, priced up. Obviously, CEH is out. Darrell Williams is a good player. Remember, going back to the year they won the Super Bowl, he was the guy. Last year, he sat out. So, I think... Wait, am I right about that? Yeah. Am I right about that? No, that's the other Williams guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Damian Williams.
That's Damian Williams. Jiminy Christmas. There's too many Williams going on. I get these guys confused. My bad. Anyways, Darrell Williams, decent guy. 23 points, 13 points. He's got a relatively. His floor is kind of low. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I know you're a little bit a bigger fan in this matchup at 9K. I mean, if we play Darrell Williams, we're not going to be able to get we're not going to be able to get the 3 studs we want to get, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I really just don't know what to do with this game, and sometimes when I'm in doubt, I just like to stack the running games against teams that should be favored pretty heavily. And I expect his ownership to be incredibly low. Everyone's going to go Patty. Hill and Kelsey, and then kind of just jam in whatever pieces they can. I think we're going to get a lot of Devontae Booker love on the other side of the ball, just because he might be the best player on the team right now, besides Daniel Jones.
That's sad.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that just means we can get Darrell Williams at a discount on ownership, and I kind of like that, especially if what is the line on this? What was it, like 10.5?
10.5. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, come on. That's in professional football. If you're over a touchdown spread, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
So to me, that just gives a massive boost to Darrell Williams. Now, if ownership, again, just disclaimer, if ownership starts to go heavy on to Darrell, I'll switch off somewhere else. But yeah, that's where we're at.
I mean, his median projection is insane. It's creeping up towards 20 points. So where they're going with this. What are some of his props? If you have that pulled up here. Also, Jerick McKinnon's at 1K. I think you have to consider him to get some value. I don't think he's going to be super high owned, but I think he actually might be around 20% owned, just because. And you could play both of these guys in the same lineup for sure. And $1,000, you put Williams and McKinnon in the same lineup for a $10,000 total. I don't hate that at all. I really don't. He just doesn't really have much of a ceiling.
Yeah, Darrell Williams is at 58.5 rush yards. Let's see, receiving, he's at 16.5. What do we have? They don't even have Jerick McKinnon on
Yeah.
here.
That's all right. I mean, look, 9K, I think I'm going to be with the field. I'm not going to go too much above him. I know you like him at captain a little bit more, which makes sense. I think he's going to be kind of popular today just because of, common sense. You have a team at home favored by 10.5, get the running backs in. Fair enough. I just don't know if they're going to really rely on that. We saw how many times Patty Mahomes has thrown the ball.
Yeah.
Anything else to add here? I was talking about Jerick McKinnon. Are you into him?
I don't know, man. I think so. I think he can get involved in the pass game. Look, the one thing that I don't think that we've mentioned here is, did you see that hit that Patty took at the end of the game on last Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, I know that we're expecting him to throw the ball 55 times, but I don't think that I honestly don't think that he should be playing. The dude clearly had a concussion.
Oh,
and
yes,
I don't know what's going on with
dude.
these NFL rules.
That's a concussion. That's a concussion.
I'm pretty sure he's required by the Geneva Convention to sit out the next week. I'm dead serious, bro.
Yeah,
I don't
was in the last
why
stimulus package. Is Patrick Mahomes
they removed it. Yeah. No, that makes sense. No, but seriously, dude, there's no reason that he should even be playing tonight. And he is the franchise. You just paid this dude he's got like a LeBron James contract to keep playing football for the next decade.
He's basically Albert Pujols.
Yeah, you're right. He needs to stay healthy. I don't see why that they risk it in a game where they probably shouldn't have to. So that's just one thing I wanted to keep in mind here. Now, I think that gives a boost to the running backs, and I think that's where you start to open up a little bit more to guys like Jerick McKinnon. So there's a long way roundabout to get to your answer, but I don't mind Jerick McKinnon just because I really think that they're going to limit what Patty's doing tonight.
If Jerick McKinnon is 25% owned, I think that's way too high.
Yes.
There's much better value. This is similar to, last night we talked about Alexander Madison at 1,400. And I didn't get zero of him. We talked about it. He's just not going to get the opportunity with Dalvin Cook getting that much volume.
I had zero.
You had zero?
I absolutely had zero.
He was my fade, so you listened to me. That's good. All right, so other side of the ball. New York Giants, 8,200 for Devontae Booker. Why is he priced at 8,200? I mean, Draftkings obviously had a little bit of inside information as to they didn't think Saquon was going to play, or at least he was going to be questionable. So they priced up Devontae Booker, which really, really sucks. He's 8,200. I'm not playing him for 8,200. Right?
Well,
you think differently than me. I just don't I don't think he has a ceiling. I think he can get a couple goal line carries, but besides that, he's just not going to do much.
So I'm thinking a little bit differently here on this slate. I'm looking at raw points just in general. I know the ceiling may be limited with Devontae Booker, but like Devontae Booker and Daniel Jones just might be the two raw point plays, the guys that you're going to get from New York.
Yeah.
And if that salary fits, you might be required to have him in if he hits 12 fantasy points.
Yeah.
So that's something that I want to consider. Now, the other thing is again, this Kansas City defense is garbage, man. They're trash. Like, there's no reason why they should be getting blown up by teams that they're getting blown up by. Now, Tyrann Mathieu's been on a tweeting storm, so maybe he's going to come out ready to turn his team around. But he even looks frustrated with some of the blown coverages and the lack of tackling that their team has. So I think that opens up an opportunity for Devontae Booker. And again, like, never underestimate guys who are kind of playing for a starting job or a contract. And Devontae Booker could end up, I mean, he's been kicked around from team to team to team, but I mean, even Derrick Henry is out for the season now. So like, if you're looking at like low price backs that you can add to your roster for the next year or two, Devontae Booker might be one of those guys. So, never discount a guy who's trying to play for a contract. And
I agree.
There is some love that you can get from here. Now, with that being said, I also don't want to sleep on a guy like Elijah Penny.
Yeah,
he's going to end up getting some volume. He's $600, and we played worse players for nothing.
Look at that! Look at all the stats. They got nothing for him. Do you see anything on your end on Roto-Grinders for stats?
He literally had So he had 9 attempts for 24 yards last week.
Oh, interesting.
In 3 attempts.
At $600, man, that's not bad.
Yeah, 3 attempts and a touchdown, 2 targets and a reception.
He could get some goal line carries.
Yeah, he's a fullback. When he was on the Cardinals, he was listed as a fullback.
Yeah.
So he can go out there and do stuff that we wouldn't necessarily expect him to. And again, the next backup is Colin Gillespie, or who do you have, or do you just have Booker? And
I have no projections, but I've got a guy named Sandro Platzgummer for 200. We got
so suffice it to say, these guys are never seeing the goddamn football field.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Gillespie gets 1 carry or something. Who knows? But it's not. I mean, $200. Yeah, you can think about it. If you guys have some insight, if we got any Giants fans out there that know more about these backups than we do, please comment. Please let us know. Don't be afraid to play some of these $200 guys. But I'd rather take a flyer on some of these other guys than mess with Devontae Booker at 8,200. I think Devontae Booker is a good player. I liked him when he was on the Raiders. I mean, he was on the Broncos too, I think. He's a solid player. I just don't like him in the game plan for this. I just really don't. And if you're planning on maybe an under total, you're planning for a little bit tighter of a game, then absolutely play Devontae Booker. I just don't like him for my builds. So wide receivers, the shit show here. Sterling Shepard questionable. Keep your eye on the news. He's 7K. Kadarius Toney 6,800, also questionable. Seems like they were limited in practice, so maybe they're leaning more towards playing. If that's the case, if we get all of these guys, it might make things a little bit more interesting when it comes to actually maybe we can see some more points scored. If not, if we're missing any of these guys, I do think that Colin Johnson gets a big boost. Dante Pettis gets a big boost. I just don't like his price necessarily, but at 5K, it's not too bad. John Ross at 1,200, we know he's got some speed. We know he can catch a bomb here and there. I wouldn't mind throwing him at captain in one lineup just to mess around. So thoughts here. Favorite guy, let's just assume that all these guys play, right? Shepard, Toney, Slayton, they all play. Who's your favorite option out of those 3?
Shepard. I think Kadarius Toney is the obvious guy, and that's where everybody's going to flock. Sterling Shepard being a little bit more expensive. I think people are going to kind of just drop down to Kadarius Toney. Now, let's be clear, Shepard and Toney are like 1v1. Mm-hmm.
1A, 1B.
Yeah, I mean, you're fine. They're both going to be within a moderate range, and given the price difference, it's not too crazy. So these are the 2 guys to play if everybody's healthy. If not, I think you just work your way down. If Sterling Shepard's out, then just give a hell of a lot of love to Kadarius Toney. Darius Slayton is old, but he does have big play opportunity, and without Sterling Shepard, I think that that's something that he can get involved in. Dante Pettis should not be 5K, so I probably just won't play him. Yes, we know what he's capable of. I'm pretty sure he used to play for the
49ers
at one point,
49ers,
right? So,
yeah.
So I mean, I have issues with what he did to us back in the day, but other than that, I just don't think that
he's priced viable. Up because he had 5 targets, 5 receptions, and a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, the week before he had 11 targets and 5 receptions, which is kind of crazy. That's a lot of targets that he's getting.
So, I mean, I get the 5K. I just don't think that he can continue that trend. I really don't. I'm going to have some of Pettis, obviously. He's going to be around 10 to 15% owned. So I'm really going to try to stick with the field with a lot of these lower end guys, but I might go way above the field on Colin Johnson. If we look at Colin Johnson's snap totals recently, we see week 6, he was 63% of the snaps. He was second on the team in snaps. And Slayton I think Toney might have gotten injured in that game, so that boosted him up. So it looks like if Toney is out, you might see a little bit more from Colin Johnson. But then there's conflicting stats for the week 7. Toney was out, Sterling Shepard was out, and Colin Johnson only got 29% of the snaps. So I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know who's going to be in the game plan. But at that price tag, I just got to consider playing a little bit of Colin Johnson. And it's kind of hard to give you guys solid numbers when it comes to all these guys because they're not all healthy at the same time. But when it comes to the season, Sterling Shepard has 78% of the snaps, Toney 42, Darius Slayton 48. But they've been injured on and off the whole year pretty much. So there's really no point in saying, if these guys all play, who's going to get the most snaps? Probably Shepard. I mean, that's probably pretty obvious. From there on, who knows? I really don't know who's going to get the second amount of snaps, the third amount of snaps. I think you got to try to play one, maybe two of all these guys. Shepard, Tony, Slayton, Colin Johnson, Pettis, Ross. Obviously, the top three guys you want to get it in more, and then sprinkle in the Johnson, Pettis, Ross in, because any of these guys can score a touchdown in this game. I don't think you should eliminate any of them. I think you should try to fit one or two into your lineups. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, again, I think the roster construction is going to be pretty heavy 5-1 Chiefs, which honestly, I don't know. We may have to try and build a 5-1 to even see if it's possible at a reasonable build.
The Opto is a 5-1.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah, I mean, I think one wide receiver would probably be enough, and maybe Daniel Jones. But, I mean, if you want to go 3-3 with the Giants, salary will be available, and you could probably jam in Patty, Hill, and Kelsey if you wanted.
I think I'll have
Kels.
Yeah, Kels. That's really his name. His brother and him both have it pronounced wrong. I really think I'm going to have more Daniel Jones than Patrick Mahomes this week.
Yeah, I agree.
I know. I'm not still drunk. I'm not hungover or anything. I'm actually thinking pretty clear, and I think that's kind of where I'll go. So Tyreek Hill.
We'll determine tonight pretty quickly if we need to be drinking when we do these shows. Then, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It is early in the morning. Well, kind of. Tyreek Hill, 11K. Fine. I get it. He's 11K. That's pretty typical for him. Mecole Hardman, big jump to 4,800. Byron Pringle, 2,200. Demarcus Robinson, 800. Josh Gordon, 200. All right, so where do we go here? I know we're going to want to get Kelsey and or Hill. It's typically speaking, you got to kind of choose between one or the other if you're going to have Patty Mahomes. But I think these guys both can always go off. You can always pair them together and capture most of the offense. If for some reason they are able to shut down Tyreek Hill, Byron Pringle, had a pretty decent week last week. Let's look at his numbers. Byron Pringle's at 2,200. He had 6 targets for 73 yards, and that's in pretty much a blowout. I think Pringle is not bad. He's at 2,200, which is kind of the top of where I want to see him priced. You got Demarcus Robinson at 800. Let's look at some of his numbers. He does have touchdown upside, and I think any one of these guys can catch a touchdown. I think you got to get this right. I'm going to go heavy on wide receivers from both teams in this game. Josh Gordon at 200, worth a random stab, but I'm not going to, there's other value on the other side. I'd rather go with Colin Johnson any day of the week. So thoughts here, Tyreek Hill, you just got to go right with the field or above it. Are you playing any Tyreek Hill at captain? And do you like Hardman, Pringle, Robinson? Do you like any of these guys?
Yeah, I might have some Tyreek Hill at captain. I might have a couple Kelsey at captain, right? I mean, it's hard not to, but obviously Tyreek Hill's Tyreek Hill. Play him if you can. Mecole Hardman, I think that he's a fine play as well. Again, grabbing any skill player from the Chiefs isn't really a bad idea in general.
Yeah.
I mean, 4,800 is a little pricey for him, but I'd still be more apt to take him over a kicker. As we saw last night, kickers were probably both in. Actually, they weren't. That's crazy.
It was a 5-1.
You'd think all those field goals, they still weren't in the optimal.
Because we had big plays. Anyways, we had big plays.
So with that said, 2,200 Byron Pringle is still, I think, a better play than a kicker. I'm fine with any one of these guys. 100%. I'll go down to Demarcus Robinson, and that's where I'll probably cut my line. I won't have Gordon or Kemp.
Yeah, I'm not going to have any Gordon. I agree. Tyreek Hill, 11K. I think he's the guy that can. I'd rather have more of him at captain maybe than in the flex, because when he goes off, he goes off. But look, what are they? 31 total. What is it for them? 31 point total for the Chiefs. That's their median projection basically for points scored. There's going to be touchdowns in this game. Spread out. Get some Tyreek Hill. Get some Kelsey. Get all these guys. That's why I'm not really fading. I'm not really going to fade any of these wide receivers. I'm going to play all of them. All right. Anything else to add here?
No, man.
Travis Kelce, 10.6K. Noah Gray, Blake Bell, 200. Travis Kelce, 10.6K. I think Travis Kelce is a better cash play. He's got a higher floor, in my opinion. You see all these targets, 11, 10, 11, 12. He's going to be my favorite play. I'm gonna get a little bit more of him over Tyreek Hill. I'm not afraid to play Kelce a lot in the flex as well. Any chance Noah Gray or Blake Bell get a random touchdown in this game?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible at $200. I think it's valuable to consider it, but well, I don't know, man. I mean, Travis Kelce was struggling with a little bit of injury last week. I mean, it was a really physical game against Tennessee, and at one point you had Kelce, Hill, and I think McCole Hardman all off the field for part of the fourth quarter. So, there is some utility in maybe getting some Noah Gray and Blake Bell. I don't know if you need to risk it. I think we're probably going to see some wide receiver injuries and on the Giants side, and I'd just rather probably play Colin Johnson.
Yeah, I'd rather go to the Giants side for my value. All right, so kickers. Any interesting kickers this week, especially for the Giants? Graham Gano is a guy that can score a lot of fantasy points randomly. 15 last week, 12 in week 5, 22 in week 2.
Hey, you missed tight ends for New York.
Oh. Well, it's Evan Ingram, so that's probably why.
Hey, man, Kevin Rudolph at 1,800 isn't terrible. I mean, I don't mind getting a stab on him or two, especially if Caden Smith is out. I don't know, man. I mean, they're probably going to run 2 tight end sets. I would focus on running the ball today if I were the Giants. And they can do that.
Is this going to be the week where Evan? Sorry to interrupt you, dude, but is Evan Ingram going to do anything for the first time in decades?
No.
Why is he 5,400? I don't understand why he's still 5,400. He should be in like 3K.
I think DraftKings has to price people up just because what's going on, right? There's nobody else on the team. Your best players are Daniel Jones, Devontae Booker, and Evan Ingram.
Last time he scored a touchdown was week 9 of last year. I rag on Evan Ingram quite a bit. I just don't love him, and he's projected around 15% ownership. I don't think anybody loves him. But if you got some injuries on the wide receiver side, if those two guys are out, Evan Ingram gets a boost, and Kyle Rudolph. We've seen Kyle Rudolph do okay. Not this year necessarily, but we know what he's capable of. We know he can catch a touchdown. We know his ceiling at this point in his career is probably 10 points, but 1,800. 10 points might be enough raw points from this team. He might capture some of the only points scored. Him, Daniel Jones, a kicker, who knows? Anything else to talk about here?
No, man.
So, Graham Gano, I think you can absolutely play Graham Gano. Butker, I don't know. Typically speaking, he's probably going to get 3 or 4, maybe 5 extra point opportunities. Who knows if he's going to get an actual attempt in this game. So far, his best output has been 10 points this year. I'm going to lay off Butker. I'll go a little bit of Graham Gano because we know he's got a little bit higher ceiling. We know he can get you 20 fantasy points randomly, especially for a team like the Giants who might not be able to punch it in the red zone with all these injuries. I'm going to go above the field with Gano slightly, and I might just uncheck Butker, and if he beats me, he beats me. Yeah?
Yep. I'm with you on that one.
Defense.
I don't mind a little bit of Butker, by the way. Just he's got a little bit of leg.
He does.
Some range kick.
He sure does. He absolutely does. Don't get me wrong. He could go out and crush. I'm just, like I say every single time, I'm not going to let a kicker lose me money because I have a ton of kickers. Chiefs 3,400. Giants 2,800. You don't like the defense. I actually would consider playing some Chiefs in this game. I think they're going to be right around 15% owned. If they creep over 20%, I don't know. But I wouldn't mind playing some Chiefs with the running backs from the Chiefs. Just throw in Chiefs. I might have one Chiefs captain lineup just in case. Danny Dimes throws 17 interceptions. We've seen the Chiefs take the ball back and score a couple times. They're going to give up a ton of points, but they have Tyrann Mathieu can take one back. That's all you need. That's all you need from a $3,400 defense. So I'm not super high on them, but I'll have a couple. I'll have a couple just because we're playing against the Giants here. There's no reason to fade another defense when we're playing against the Giants. I don't care who the defense is. Yeah. Are you gonna go down that road? You gonna go any defenses? You didn't seem to be too high on them in the beginning.
I may have 2 or 3 lineups with some of the Chiefs defense. I won't have any of the Giants. The Giants might change later on in the day. I want to see if there's line movement. I really don't know how Patrick Mahomes is allowed to play. I think because he's a superstar, they make different rules. Yeah, that was a concussion, man. They need to have you sit out a week. And he's your franchise quarterback.
If anybody's ever played football before, I'm sure most of the people watching this played high school or something. You can look in the guy's eyes. He was absolutely destroyed, and somehow they cleared him to play. I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense.
Dude, we've all seen it. Like, if you've played high school football, you've had somebody on your starting offense get a concussion. Like, I don't.
Especially if you're playing in the late '90s, early 2000s, or wherever you're playing. I'm
before that Will Smith movie came out, dude. Concussions were a way of life.
Yeah. Oh, you got a concussion? Put some ice on it. Go play. Who cares? All right, so. Oh, that's not captains, but fades. You're going defenses. I'm going to go Booker. When I say fade, I'm not going to have 0 Booker. I'm just going to be under the field a little bit, simply because I'm just building a different game script. So he'll make it into a couple lineups, but those lineups will be specifically built for a closer game and for a little bit more of a Booker built lineup. I'm not just going to throw him into random lineups. So, what's going to be your Booker exposure? I know it's a little earlier in the day. You got to wait for ownership, but he's probably going to be around 20%. You're going to be over that. That's pretty low for him, actually.
Yeah, if he's going to be around 20%, I'll probably double the field, get closer to 35 to 40. I think you're fine with him and Daniel Jones. That could be all the offense for the New York Giants. So, it really depends on his ownership projection. If he stays around 20, I think that's easy leverage on the field. If he's around 40, then I think 20 is probably about right.
I like what you said about raw points, because you're right. It's not always about finding value on these teams that might not score a lot. You got to just capture all the raw points and figure it out from there. All right, so let's go to our captain choices.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
We're crowning their ass. Favorite tournament choice for you? Talk to me about Williams.
Yeah, man. Again, like, this is a lot of this is hanging on the pretense that I really don't think Pat Mahomes should be playing football tonight. This is an opportunity for a get-right game, and the way that this team can get right is by establishing their ground game.
Yeah.
And moving past their shitty offensive line, too. Like, they're letting Pat get beat up in the pocket.
Yeah.
And it is unreal. So this is a good opportunity to reset that expectation. Start running the ball, get some pressure off of your franchise quarter. It's like a 10-year contract, man. I'm pretty sure it's a 10-year agreement for $500 million.
Yeah.
Right. So what are you doing? This isn't baseball. He's not Mike Trout. He can't just sit on the bench and hit a home run every third week.
Yeah.
Right. So run Darrell Williams, keep Pat Mahomes from getting hit. And I think there's a true opportunity for him to have 100 yards, 150 total yards with receiving too, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I hear you. For me, Kelsey, look, I love Kelsey, but the biggest reason why is based on the projected ownership now. He's like going to be in the captain spot, half owned from Tyreek and like a third owned from Patrick Mahomes. I think there's enough leverage there. I mean, I don't know why he should be the third. He should be above Daniel Jones in the captain. And I think he's going to be right around that. So he's probably going to be the 4th highest owned captain. And I just think that's too low for him because, if he scores 2 touchdowns, that's not a surprise at all. And he has 10 receptions. That's a normal Sunday for him typically. So I like Kelsey. What are some other options from the Giants that you would consider while we're here on the captain spot?
I actually don't mind. I want to see where Daniel Jones comes in because he has that rushing upside. He does become an interesting captain.
Yeah.
If he's under 10% owned, I don't mind him. And then, Devontae Booker is an interesting captain choice as well, especially if he's projected to be at 20% ownership overall. That probably puts him at like 2 to 3% at the captain spot. So, again, I think he has an opportunity to do well. between him and Daniel Jones, you could capture the entire offense again and be able to jam in whoever you want from the other side. But
yeah,
other than that, I don't know if I'm going to be taking too many deep reaches on the Giants players.
I do like getting some Kadarius Toney if he plays, some Sterling Shepard, as well as some Darius Slayton in like a 2-4 lineup. Throw him in with
Kadarius Toney for sure. I mean, especially if one of these other dudes is out. I mean, that was the week he had 13 receptions or 13 targets, 10 receptions, 189. That's without a touchdown. And that's with everybody out. The only reason he didn't do more, I mean, he was on pace to tear it up against the Rams. The only reason he didn't was because he got hurt that game.
Yeah.
So I think you're right on with Kadarius Toney, and I'm a fool for missing that one, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's the chances of him going off are, above Kelsey or any of these guys are low, but his price tag is low enough and allows you to fit in Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill possibly in the flex. So we'll build something like that here real quick. Let's actually get into this lineup build right now. So let's just see what the Opto spits out here. Let's just optimize and see what happens. Patty captain, this is a 5-1 with Daniel Jones in the flex. You got Williams, McKinnon, Robinson, and Hill with Daniel Jones. I'm going to go no on that. That's just me.
Yeah, I don't even want Mahomes at captain. Like, I can't stand Mahomes at captain.
He's going to be probably around 30% owned, and we say this quite a bit. He has so many options. This kind of goes back to the Kyler situation the other night. Now, obviously, that didn't work out well, and I don't want to talk about it because it's going to make me sad. But this isn't Lamar Jackson, in the beginning of the year where he was the guy getting all the carries, or Alvin Kamara where he's the guy getting all the options. There's not a lot of options. Patrick Mahomes has like 4 or 5 other guys that can score you 2 touchdowns. So I'd rather just fade him at captain. He's going to be 30% owned. You can get an automatic 30% boost on people if he has just an average game. So let's who do you want to build with first? At captain. Oh, hang on, bro. I can't hear you.
Oh, I had the mute button.
Oh yeah, there
selected
you go.
For whatever reason.
Who do you want to build with first?
Let's start with your guy, dude.
All right, Travis Kelce. Let's just put both quarterbacks in for now to see where we're at. Obviously, we got to fade. If we're playing both the quarterbacks, we got to fade Tyreek Hill. So let's get one of these wide receivers in. You want to go with Kadarius Toney if he plays?
Yeah.
That leaves us with 5,100 for 2 spots. Where do you want to go here?
Let's throw in Colin Johnson.
Okay.
And that should leave enough for damn it.
Almost Mecole. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could go down from Toney to Slayton. I agree with you though. Slayton is just not. He doesn't have that upside. I think Slayton's priced up a little bit too much compared to Toney. But you could get Bucker. You can get the kickers. You can get a defense. You can go down to Pringle. We might want to go. Maybe we want to go higher on here. Let's go with the Chief. Let's go with the Chief here. Let's go with maybe not. Let's go with Mecole and see what happens. 6,700. Let's see if it's even worth it. Slayton again. Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate Slayton, but
I mean, what about? Let's see. You got Kelsey.
We got Kelsey, Mahomes, Jones, and Johnson right now. We got to fill 2 spots. Well, you want to go Darrell Williams?
Yeah, let's throw in Darrell. I think it's Darrell.
I don't know. I've heard it both ways. I'll go with Darrell because that sounds cooler.
Bryce Brown.
Yeah, Bryce Brown. Yeah, psycho. 2,500.
Byron
Pringle.
Why not?
Or Kyle Rudolph. This is a 4-2. I like 4-2s. I do think that if you eliminate any 5-1s and you try to go with 3-3s or 2-4s or 4-2s, you'll probably be better off. It's not like the Giants are projected for like 12 points, like 14 points. They're gonna score a couple touchdowns. I don't know if I like the Kelsey build. Let's take Mahomes out and see what happens. So if Mahomes is out, we're gonna want to get Darrell Williams in. And let's see, can we get... Oh, this is going to be tight, but can we get Tyreek? No, we don't want to put Tyreek if Mahomes isn't in. Where do we want to go here?
Let's see.
Kelsey, Williams, and Jones, just for the podcast list.
Tony. Let's go Tony and Booker if we can. No, that's only going to leave us. But we can't do Booker.
Can't do Booker? Oh, no, we can't. Yeah, we can't.
So instead of, we already have Darrell Williams, so that's fine. So let's see. Who else do we want from... can we throw in Byron Pringle and let's see what happens next?
Yeah.
That puts us at probably Darius Slayton.
5,900. Nope.
No,
Pettis.
Or Evan Ingram.
Or Hardman, but no Mahomes. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
This sucks, man. I don't like this game.
Go back to fades, and then can I just put the slate?
Yeah, just fade the slate. I mean, all right, so let's move from Kelsey because I don't like the way these builds are going. Let's go low. Let's go full in on a low guy and just assume that maybe he can get a touchdown.
Can you try with Darrell Williams real quick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. And then yeah, for sure, let's go to low.
That's going to save us about $2,400. So
throw in, let's go with one of the pass catchers from... what's his face? Let's do Hill? Travis Kelce.
Kelce?
Yeah, I just like his price tag, man.
Let's just see if we can go Kelce and Hill and Mahomes. Let's just see. That's not bad, actually. Colin Johnson.
And then what does that give us?
That gives us 2,500. So Byron Pringle. It's a 5-1 with Colin Johnson. You could
throw in Kyle Rudolph, and then what does that leave us? 700 to come up of Colin. That's 1,100. Do we have anybody? No.
McKinnon, almost John Ross.
Eli Penny.
Yeah. Shit show. Let's pull Hill. Let's leave Mahomes in. Let's put Daniel Jones in. And
it's still the same bullshit.
It's still the same bullshit, man. All right.
Can we throw in Kevin Rudolph?
Where's he at? There he is. 1,900. Nice. John Ross.
Yeah, sure. That's not terrible. I mean, John Ross would be like 2% owned if everyone's healthy. Yeah. So will Kyle Rudolph too. So I don't know, man. I guess this works.
Yeah. All right. So this is why we build like this. I didn't really build a lot. I never really build a lot before the shows because I want to feel it out live and just kind of feel it out. So I feel like going lower on the lower end to, a Byron Pringle or Mecole Hardman. Let's try Mecole Hardman. Let's just try it. And I'm not saying that Mecole Hardman. I just want to check that price range and see if it gets us anything. So let's automatically go Patty, Daniel Jones. Let's go Tyreek. Or you could basically interchange Tyreek, and they're $400 difference, him and Kelsey. So this leaves us with 9,600. So let's try to get. I mean, look, we could do this. You could go with Darrell Williams. It leaves you $600, and then you just go low. And you go with a guy with Eli Penny or Colin Johnson. I don't hate that, but it's too much. Now you're relying on a guy like Colin Johnson to go off and Hardman to go off. It's one of these things that I'd rather not do. So let's move away from Darrell, and let's go with another wide receiver. We got to try to get Sterling Shepard in here, right? Let's try to do that. So Daniel Jones, Sterling Shepard. That leaves us 2,600.
Byron Pringle.
It's not bad, but now you're relying on Hardman and Pringle.
Yeah.
And Hill. I mean, it's not impossible, but the reason why you go low like this is to fit in, like if we could fit in, both quarterbacks and Hill and Kelsey, just fit in all these high price guys that you think can go off. I don't know, man. Do you have another guy on the low end that we can play?
Let's look through this one more time. Let's see what we've got going.
I don't know.
You know what?
Man.
Let's throw in a Kadarius Toney captain.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, I like that. All right, so let's fade Patty Mahomes on this one. Let's put Daniel Jones in. We can put Patty Mahomes in at the end, but let's see how this works out. So Tony Jones, let's throw in one more of his wide receivers or a tight end. Who are you thinking?
Let's go Sterling Shepard, dude.
Let's try it. Leaves us with 2,200, or I'm sorry, 22,600 across 3 spots. We're in a good spot here. So,
can you do Kels and Darrell Williams? Let's see what that leaves us at.
I like that. It leaves us at 3K.
3K.
So Giants defense or Byron Pringle. I don't hate I don't hate Byron Pringle.
Let's see, 9K. Well, here, how about this? Instead of Darrell Williams, go down to Devontae Booker and see if that 800 gives us. I think it gives us Graham Gano, but yeah, never mind.
Yeah, it does.
That's not worth it.
It's not bad though. I mean, it is a 4-2. Oh no, that's a 5-1.
That's a 5-1.
We got to look, we have to do one lineup that we like before we sign off. We haven't done a single lineup that we like. Do you want to try Tyreek Hill at captain?
Let's do it.
Let's just try it. All right, Tyreek. Let's put Patty Mahomes. Do we have to put Patty Mahomes in? I know it's kind of counterintuitive here, but let's try it without him. Let's put Daniel Jones in. Like I said, I like playing Daniel Jones a little bit more than Patty in this slate. Where do we go from now? We got to get some Darrell Williams in, right? 14,000 for 3 spots. Let's go with a Sterling Shepard. Let's go down to Colin Johnson. That leaves us. We're gonna get a 3-3 here.
Darius Slayton.
Or
you want a 3-3?
Kadarius Toney. You could do Kadarius Toney.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's enough there for Kadarius. Keep forgetting he's at 6,800. I was looking at his price at captain for a while there and messed up my head.
If you wanted to do a 3-3, you'd have to go all the way down to Mecole Hardman and leaving a lot on the table, but I don't hate it.
If you do that, what does it give us to come up off of Colin Johnson?
Let's do that. Let's go Mecole at 4,800. That leaves us 2,500. Byron Pringle.
Yeah,
or 2. I don't want that. I don't have Mahomes. I don't want to do like 2 wide receivers without Mahomes.
Yeah,
right, let's start over. Let's put Mahomes in, and let's see where this gets us. Darrell Williams. It leaves us with 2,300 for 2 spots. So let's go Colin Johnson. And when I say Colin Johnson, it could be any of these guys. It could be John Ross. Yeah. It could be Kyle Rudolph. Like, don't misinterpret that we're going to be playing 100% Colin Johnson here. Colin Johnson, and then 1,900. So Kyle Rudolph. I don't hate that.
Yeah, I actually don't at all. That's probably one of the more balanced lineups that we built. And Colin Johnson will be less than 5%. Kevin Rudolph.
Yeah, 9% or less, or 7%, or something like that.
So that alone should be able to kind of dissuade the Tyreek Hill captain ownership.
So look, guys, obviously, if we're having trouble building lineups and we're not having fun, this is what it's about. We're trying to have fun here. We're trying to enjoy ourselves while we're playing. I just don't love the slate too much. I don't love the pricing. Even with the injuries that the Giants have, it just doesn't open up a whole lot that I like. And this game could go one of 1,000 different ways. It could be close. It could be a blowout. We could see Byron Pringle score 4 touchdowns and Patrick Mahomes leave in the first quarter. So many things could happen. I'll probably do a single entry, and I'll probably do like a bullet into like the big contest just for fun. Are you going to go crazy on this slate?
Yeah, no, I say that now, but I'll probably end up going crazy at some point. Like, I need to get much more discipline in my bankroll management, but I prefer to be able to run more lineups that I'm comfortable with than just submitting a couple that I'm uncomfortable with. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, 100%. So look, if you guys have a firm grasp on this slate, we don't. We're not going to lie to you guys. We're not going to say that this is going to be an awesome slate and we know what the hell is going to happen, because we don't. If you have a firm grasp on this, feel free to hit us up in the Discord or in the comments for sure. Let us know if there's a value guide that you guys like that we're not looking at, or a build that you guys like that we're not looking at. But generally speaking, I'm probably not going to play too much of this slate. What are your thoughts on the final score here? Just roll a dice and guess at this point? Can they cover? Can the Chiefs cover, basically?
The Chiefs? Yeah, they can cover.
I think they can cover. I do think there's a world where this game's closer than it should be, but I really hope not, because there's no reason why the Chiefs should not win by more than 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. We'll see you guys for Thursday Night Football. Give us a like. Give us a follow on the way out. We're doing these showdowns videos pretty much for every island game. And we're going to start up NBA here, too. We're going to start doing live NBA games for the late night hammer, or live NBA shows. So probably around, usually around 9:30, depending on if it's a 10:30 game Eastern or a 10 p.m. game. Around 9:30, we'll go live for 45 minutes or something like that. We'll probably do that in the next few weeks. So hit us up if you guys want to see that, and we will talk to you guys later. All right, thanks a lot.